And we are back with another episode. We gonna get right into it. Florencio, welcome back to the show. Our guest of honor, we back on the
Hey,
panel. We
My
back
man.
on the panel with the Labor Lounge, and we got a lot to talk about.
Uh-huh.
We got Ed Reed exposing Bethune-Cookman College. We got people losing their jobs to robots. And gun violence is at an all-time high. So what we gonna do about it? We gonna talk about it. So here we are with another show of the Labor Lounge special guest. If y'all remember Florencio, he was on here before with telecommunications. So welcome back to you. I feel like we did a good job before I came back. My man.
Yes, sir.
How you doing
back.
tonight,
let
boss?
me just speak to the audience and say thank you very much. Also, please give the difficulties I'm having on my Logan, and the hiccups, images, but I am happy here.
Yeah, I don't think they heard you. You breaking up a little bit, boss.
He's trying.
He's trying.
Okay?
Hey, well,
He's trying. Let
trying.
the signal just got to go ahead and wind down. The signal
Wow.
had a long day at work. It needs a chance to come in and put its bags down so it can work.
Yeah.
We went live and everything went left.
We heard that though. We heard that.
Hey, everything that needs to be heard is heard.
Listen, y'all remember Flo from the telecommunications conversation we had, and if you remember how we wrapped that up, we actually got into some things that we were getting ready to unpack, and we are gonna revisit that. But before we do that, I think we can kind of tie some things together. So, Flo, if you don't mind, I want to get into more, and I don't want to misspeak. MKB. I want to talk a little bit more about that. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay.
All right.
I want to get into a little bit more of that, but I want to play this first clip first. Let's get an idea of what's going on, and we're going to work everything in. Sounds like a plan?
Yes,
Sounded great, man.
Here we go. All right. So this first clip, this is Ed Reed telling us about what he saw when he went to Bethune-Cookman College, walking the campus with his football team. As we know, he's going to be the new head coach over there. So let's see what he's talking about.
Want change around here.
You saw the front of the building.
Terrible.
This the back of the building. They working on the front of the building. This the same people said, we gonna help you build what you want. How I'm gonna believe you, man? How I'm gonna believe them? Didn't I tell you I don't trust nobody? I'm coming over giving them the same passion and they smiling and laughing in my thing. Funny? We gonna ride through the fence that they ain't fixed the fence. We about to ride through this fence. This ain't even football side. This ain't even the football side. And y'all talking about Madden at my Uncle Prime. Y'all mad at Dion, mad at Prime. This shit is every HBCU. Bro, we riding through the fence. This is track, bro. This is track. This is what they practice on. It's a straightaway. This is intramural field. You can't practice on this. These kids got this to work with.
So real quick, I want to pause it right here because the video is going to play on, and I think it's about 3.5 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So to this point, we understand that he's complaining about the conditions of this is the track and field area of the school, right? This is where their team practices at, and maybe even they have meets over here. I'm not 100% sure how Bethune-Cookman does it, but he has a gripe with the fact that the conditions of the campus is not up to the standard, right? What he considers to be his standard. So Dion, Coach Prime, let me call him right, he had similar issues at Jackson State University, the HBCU he was at. And many people say that HBCUs have a hard time with maintaining the facilities that they're actually at. Now, one thing I'm going to say is this. I'm looking at these look like the hurdles that the track team jumps over, right? Stuff like this, I'm not saying the school is right, but I'm also saying that I think your athletes have a responsibility. I remember when I was in high school, right? Merely high school, we brought our equipment to the field. We packed our equipment up at the end of practice. So why is that still left on the field? So is there expectations set for the players? I mean, what y'all think about that to this point?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. In other cultures, and Professor Kawhi speak to this, they teach manners and cleaning and taking care of your school before they teach any curriculum.
Yeah.
So I want you to look at the hurdle that's on the ground and look at the hurdle that's on the track. You notice anything different?
Two different colors. One is black, one is white.
It looked like it could be a part of the one that's actually on the track.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is this. The hurdles look dilapidated. Right? They look beat up. The grass doesn't look. I'm gonna tell you this from this, right? This is a college that gets money from enrollments and alumni, whatever, and they have to manage the distribution of the funds appropriately, right? Why is it that from this angle right here, my high school that I went to looked better than theirs? It's a public school. Everything, all the facilities that we had were there. Yes, we were told to go and pick them up and go move them over here and there. But all of that started with leadership. They gave us the fundamentals of what to do. They taught us how to go ahead and be men, right? Because sports gives you discipline to some extent, right? Usually when you put your kid into there's going to be some sort of discipline that's instilled in the kid doing this physical activity. You want to do this physical activity, keep your grades up. You want to go ahead and keep doing this physical activity, put the stuff away, right? Yes, we can say that there is a responsibility on the kids, but that's pure speculation because we really don't know what's been instilled in them. We don't know what's really going on over there. There's a fence down. There's a hurdle that looks crazy, and we know that the grass probably has pits in it. They can't run in it. You're going to break an ankle. You're not even fit to go ahead and train on this type of stuff.
Okay. So we kind of got initial thoughts, right? And I'm going to keep playing the video, and we'll wrap it up towards the back end.
Yes, sir.
Trash. Yeah, I'm showing it. At this point, I got to show this. I'm not even the head coach. Congratulations. Man, I should go my ass home. I said I should. I ain't. It ain't happening. Because of that lady right there. Because of her right there. Miss Mary, you see her with the cane? Coach Kane. That's what you call me. Coach Kane is who I am. Don't cry. Do something. Y'all see these buildings right here? You see these buildings right here? Y'all see these buildings right here? This corner? Y'all see this right here? This here? This shit is abandoned right here. They're hoarding trash in this shit. All this right here is trash. From this corner all the way right here is trash. You understand me? Man, mutt your ass off here, man. What you talking about? I ain't mutt nobody. I'm trying to fix shit. What you doing? I told you somebody ain't gonna like it, bro. I told you somebody wasn't gonna like it. Do something about it, man. Come help us clean this up. I could have been mutton and showing. I chose not to. But now I'm out here walking with the football team, picking up trash. But I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man. I should leave. I'm not even under contract doing this. I'm mutting us? Man, get out of here, man. They mutt me. These motherfuckers ain't even clean my goddamn office when I got here. I'm mutting y'all? Get your ass back. Come on, man. Come on, man. All this shit here was trash in front of me. Who you think got this shit cleared out? That building right there got trash in it. It's trash. What are you talking about? You need no goddamn donors to come out and help out, because people just want money. That's why I don't fuck with social network. Fuck out of here, man.
So there you go. So that's Hall of Famer Ed Reed exposing some of the conditions at Bethune-Cookman College, and I believe Bethune-Cookman is in Tampa, correct?
Bethune-Cookman is is it Daytona?
Yeah, it's somewhere in Central Florida.
I think it's Daytona, because they're somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Okay. So he's exposing some of the conditions. Now, before I get to the question or the meat of the conversation, right? Coach Prime, he voiced some of these same concerns when he first got to Jackson State University. And now we have another Hall of Fame athlete going to an HBCU to go and be the head coach, right? To kind of change some of the history that they have there. But yet, this is what they're coming into. So what's the problem at HBCUs that they're not taking care of the facilities and investing into the program that's supposed to help Black men and Black women progress and be productive in society? So we'll do that, and we'll go around table. Flo, you're our guest.
That's a really great question. I don't have a straightforward answer for that. I don't know why we don't value ourselves. I mean, we can talk about systemic ideas. We can talk about racial issues, being impoverished, but it's difficult for me to comment because I wasn't raised like that. I had to value me. I taught my daughter to value herself. My father valued himself. So that wouldn't be the case. I don't have a good answer for why they're not valuing who they are and what they represent.
And it's I'm gonna piggyback off of you, because I always say when I get into conversations and we come across topics like this where I feel it starts in the home, right? Now, I'm also going to talk about when I played sports, and I didn't play collegiate sports. I played high school at best, right? But we were a tight-knit group. We did things together, and we, if something is unloading the bus to get the equipment on the field, we cleaned up the field, we put the equipment back on the bus. When we got back to the school, we took the equipment from the bus and put it in its proper place. And it seems like some of those values are not there at this particular HBCU. And if it serves correct, people are talking about many HBCUs. It just seems like there's a lack of leadership, to Professor's point a little bit earlier. But I think once you get out of high school, you've kind of been instilled in some of these things. When you get to your college, right, in your college years, you're a little bit older. Like, you got to take pride in the things that's around you. And I just don't see pride in these schools. So it could be a lack of leadership, right? It could be a lack of caring, but it's obvious we got a problem. And I think it needs to be spoken about, because we've had not one, but two Hall of Famers talk about conditions at HBCUs. It's concerning. And I didn't go to HBCU, but just outside looking in, if my son today says, you know what, Pops, I want to go here, and it's a HBCU, now I got this grain where I'm like, I don't know, let's go check it out and make sure we're doing the right thing. So, Professor, what you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't have an exact answer that would be lined up with the facts. I can tell you if I took an educated guess on this, I'm going to say that colleges are kind of run like mini governments, right? And there's a president at the college, there's another individual who handles finances, there's another one who handles enrollment, there's another one who handles admin. Same thing like the government, right? There's all different branches that go ahead and trickle down. And there's even solicitations like the government. They campaign and stuff like that, and they look for alumni to go ahead and send money back in. The money that it takes for kids to go there to go ahead and get an education is also part of this money that keeps the school running. There are individuals that have meetings in regards to the budgets and how it's going to be applied, right? And many a time they could say, okay, look, and this is why you'll have certain areas that'll go ahead and campaign for money. You know, the Glee Club is doing a fundraiser. This is doing a fundraiser. There's all types of money being allocated. The money's not being allocated for the sports, period. Not over there, right? They have different priorities on their mind as to what to do with these funds. I'm not sure exactly where the funds are going to. Maybe the band program, right? Because Bethune-Cookman is known for getting down when it comes to the band, right? And I haven't heard them complain in regards to funding or anything like that. But you do see the representation, right? Are they not consistently in competitions when it comes to band classics and things of that nature? Bethune-Cookman, they're almost a household name when it comes to stuff like that. So it's wild to see one aspect thriving and the other aspect suffering. And how is it that they got money but they don't? It's all about decisions that come from up here. And if you don't have the funding, you're going to work with what you can work with. But everybody knows that your training is a lot better when you get the technology in there, right? This is why the NFL has so much money into the state-of-the-art equipment for facilities. You know, teams have state-of-the-art equipment for facilities. Sports therapy is state-of-the-art. They have the highest in medicine technology there. You'll see contraptions on the field you've never seen before. I'm not saying that they need all of this at a HBCU, but clearly they can see the results of actually applying the funds in that particular area.
Appreciate that. Flo, what you think? Anything to add to that?
I mean, to piggyback on what he's saying, that is the other question. The question is, where is the funding going? The question is, what is important to the HSB to the school? Excuse me, what's important to them? Obviously, that field, that abandoned building, is an important priority to that school system. I'm not hearing much about education. I haven't heard anything on social media or from friends or family complaining about the degrees that they've gotten from these historically Black colleges. I'm hearing good things. So this is just not a priority. And I can understand that again, going back to what could be considered a race concern or a concern about what we look at as important. Some of my friends of color think that we ought not be putting a lot of attention on sports, that we should put more attention on arts or other programs. So I have circles that just look down on the sports.
Right.
So it's not an intellectual priority, and it may not be a priority for the school at all.
You got a point there. You got a really good point there, because a lot of people don't think about the individuals that aren't sports fans and their influence on these particular situations, right? Imagine you're not a sports fan and you're on the panel in the school deciding budgets.
So with that being said, I can kind of, let me say, I understand where both of you are coming from. and I don't necessarily disagree. But I'm going to talk to you like a player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to take pride in your area. And there's stuff that you can control, and there's things that you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
My hurdles being on the field, I can control that. I
Mm-hmm.
might not be able to fix the fence, but my my coveralls being on the high jump area, like there's things that you can control. And I think that's where it kind of shows the pride. And it looked like this has probably been deteriorating for quite a little while.
Yeah.
Um, the band, obviously, their band is the draw. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they were in the Drumline movie, but their band has been making noise for a long time. Bethune
Long time.
band has been something that's been pulling funds into the school. Now, if you're not investing in your football program and you're not investing into your track program, and I'm going off of what I see,
Mm-hmm.
it comes to the people involved in these programs to take pride in their program. So if you're not getting the funds, that doesn't mean you let it fall apart.
How do you train?
What do you mean? How do you train?
What I'm saying is this, right? In order for you to have pride, you have to be going somewhere that actually has pride or instill that in you. These
And
people
that-
are still they're still children, right?
But
At
this
the end
is
of
what
the
I'm
day,
getting at. They're not children, they're
they
young adults.
they're
At
okay.
this point, they're young
young
adults.
You can
So
call
hold
it
on.
what you want to call it.
Let me
right?
finish
But you
my
know what
thought.
it is.
Let me finish my thought.
I was
My
trying-
thought is
no.
this: what you have to do is you have to take pride in your area. So it seems to me somebody's not doing their job. Now, that could be coach, that could be administration, that could be whatever the situation is. But somebody's not doing it. And the fact that you have conditions like this on the school, who's been talking about this? If it takes Ed Reed to come to a new school and start pointing stuff out,
Mhm.
and then this is when things want to start getting fixed, yo, we've been walking over the white turd for a long time.
Mm.
And that's the concern that I have, right? There's no reason why. Let me put it like this. Whenever I've taken a new job and I've accepted a position, the best foot was put forward. I'm not a Hall of Famer. I'm a guy that was solicited off of LinkedIn. So when I step into a store that I'm getting ready to take over, the store looks as good as it's gonna look without me being there putting my expectations on it. This school took no precautions to say, hey, we got Ed Reed in the pipeline getting ready to come here and help us out.
They cared less.
They could care less.
He
They
said they
"Look,
didn't even clean his office.
yeah, this is us. Deal with it."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, I should go home. Like that's
Yo.
a problem for me." So somebody's not doing the job. So I put some of this accountability on administration. I put some of this accountability also on the people who are part of these programs because you got to take pride in what it is that you do. And I say that because even today, the people that I played sports with in high school, if I was to go on Facebook right now and put, man, I miss the days of playing football with y'all boys, and I say it just like that, I'm going to have 20 people chiming in on that post. And we're going to have memories that we share together. We're going to talk about stuff like, oh, man, we forgot to fill up the water jug when we was going to practice and coach made us play through it. Like, we had this instilled in us. So it just seems like there is no culture at Bethune-Cookman College to me outside looking in. I think Ed Reed got a task on his hands.
He definitely does have a task in his hand. So am I the only one offended with the way Mr. Reed is handling the situation? I'm again, I'm gonna have to just say it. I've been skating around saying we're three black men. But with three black men, we have some similar ideas in terms of our culture. And where I come from, you don't just air out your dirty laundry on social media. Like he should have made a video and then brought that to admin and be like, guys, I'll come back in 2 months when you guys figure out what you really want. But I'm not, again, I don't think it's a good example for him to go there and put his future employee on blast, whether he's right or wrong about the conditions.
You know, I get where you're coming from, And I think that it's situational for me, right? In general, I'm not a big go to social media to air out your issues type of guy, right? You say go to administration to go ahead and let them know. But what's there to go ahead and let them know when they already know? They let him walk into that, right? There are certain things that I put together off of the reception. It was publicity that they wanted to air out. Yeah, we got Ed Reed coming. Yeah, right? Why? To garner the attention that Ed Reed brings. He's a Hall of Famer, right? Same thing like Coach Prime, Hall of Famer, right? They bring people. They bring people by their name. And they were more concerned with the publicity that he had. They didn't even clean up his office. What's there to tell him?
Yeah.
You
And
know, like it's one of those things where he's garnering the support of the public because this looks like the type of organization that when I, on the up and up, will come to you and bring something, you're going to make your best attempt at sweeping it under the rug and telling me to go back to work and just keep that publicity there.
you know what, Professor? Can I jump in real quick? And
Hop on in.
yeah, I want to jump in because Ed Reed does bring publicity, but he's not Coach Prime. Like Ed Reed is a Hall of Famer, but he's not a Coach Prime caliber type of player. Great player. Let me disclaimer that he is the man when it comes to defensive back, but he's not Coach Prime.
Is
right?
his name known?
Yeah, to an extent.
I don't know when's the last time he did anything. I saw Prime doing.
He's not
active.
He's not a commentator. He was pulled out of thin air where it was like, oh, we got Ed Reed coming, and because we know the accolades Ed Reed brings, it's like, okay, yeah, this is a good look, but he's not active today. Like Coach Prime has been very active on many different platforms. So I say that to say this. I agree with Flo because as a person who's run buildings, right? And I'm piggybacking back and forth between sports and what I do on a day-to-day. You don't air dirty laundry outside of your building. So my thing is this. If he took this to administration and nothing was done, then so be it. But if the first time administration hears about it is via social media, then it's like, yo, chill out. Now, I'm going to take a guess and a gamble and say the first time administration heard about them neglecting these programs is via social media is because he issued an apology. That's a bit of information I know because I was looking at this all day. He issued an apology about the way that he handled the situation. So why would you initially put an apology out there if this is how you felt?
Damage control.
So I'm almost thinking it could be that, or he didn't go to administration first. So I'm gonna just drop it right there and let y'all have it.
I'm gonna keep saying that we as men of color, wherever we are, we garner a certain amount of attention, positive, negative. We do. You guys are leaders wherever you walk. You walk into a room, big man, you're a leader. You walk into a room, professor, you're a leader. People look at you and see what you're gonna do. What is he gonna bring? And we have a responsibility. And so I'm gonna always lean towards that. So I don't know about funds being allocated, or I don't know what brought him to those feelings, but I don't think he should be airing out that way. I think he only has this platform on the curtails of Coach Prime. If Coach Prime didn't do what he did years ago with Little League football and bring it back up and keep going up to the point where Coach Prime is Coach Prime now, this wouldn't even be a blip on the radar for Ed Reeves. But he actually has a platform. It's interesting now because we just had a great black coach do some wonderful things. And it's unfortunate that he took that opportunity to just, again, take a magnifying glass on us and say, look how dirty we are. Look how messy we are. Look how irresponsible we are. And I'm not a big fan of that personally. So I'm a little bit disappointed. Even if he's correct, that's not how you do it. And that's not a good example for the kids.
I can see that. So, can I ask you a question before we move on? Coach Prime leaving Jackson State University to go to Colorado. Are you familiar with that situation?
Yes, I am.
What are your thoughts on that? Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of opinions floating around out there, right? So many people say he should have stayed, built a legacy. Other people are saying he made it known up front what he was going to do. And then other people are saying that he has a good opportunity going to Colorado State. So I want to ask you your opinion. Like, would you have preferred Coach Prime staying at Jackson, or do you agree with him going to a PWI?
I completely agree with him taking the upgrade, and it is an
Okay.
upgrade. It's an upgrade in financial compensation for him. It's an upgrade in facilities. It's an upgrade on administration. It's an all-around upgrade. I'm going to say take the promotion. If for no other reason, going back to him as a father figure, as a Black example, showing the kids around him there isn't a ceiling. There was, but if there was, I'm breaking it. I'm destroying it. And so I like it. I think it was a good move, and I'm happy he did it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it right there. I think we shared some sentiments. I've had some different conversations with different folks where I think Coach Prime being at HBCU, it would have disrupted some things, right? Because he was pulling talent that HBCUs had never seen before. I don't want I'm kind of hesitant to get into it because I think it goes into kind of sort of a conspiracy theorist type of area, and I don't really want to get there. But I will say this, right? I think it's big business at the end of the
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Should Jackie Robinson had only played for the Negro League, or should he have gone to?
Nah, he should have definitely gone to the major leagues.
You sure? Because he could have had a legacy in the Negro League. He could have. It's the same conversation. It was necessary.
But here's the thing: is the Negro League still around today? Exactly.
But wait, hold on. When you say stuff like that, right, and you make it like it's a stamp, the Negro League is not around today because all of the players are inside of the one league,
MLB.
Yeah, so the Negro League not being around is kind of a moot point on that.
It's not a moot point
because it's kind of moot.
Hold on, check me out. So HBCUs are not going anywhere, right? And what we had was an opportunity to pull top quality talent into HBCUs. Do you realize this would have disrupted your big five? This would have disrupted like PWIs because now you got talent coming into HBCUs that's not going to Oklahoma, they're not going to Alabama, they're not going to Auburn, they're going to HBCUs, and these are your top players, the people that enter the draft and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would have disrupted some things. The funds that, and this is where I didn't want to go, but the funds that could be lost by not recruiting top talent, that could disrupt some things on the other side. So I always trying to relate a little bit of business into everything that we talk about, because college, whether they want to believe it or not, it's a business. They make money on those football games. That's why they have stadiums that got 30,000 people that come to them, right? And all 30,000 people pay for those tickets, especially a school. You talk about Alabama, you got Coach Saban there, you got all the talent there. Listen, let's not get it twisted. It's a business. So when you got somebody like Prime that comes into the fold and he's able to get top recruits, it could present a problem. But again, I'm just talking. This is not fact. I'm just having a conversation.
That's an optimist.
Like they should have gave Coach Prime carte blanche if that's the case. They did.
Yeah. Thank you.
And they didn't. And that's why they lost
my point. Because the real talk, there has to be two people that want this, right? Coach Prime and the school, right? It can't just be Coach Prime wanting that, right? And I mean, yeah, as a culture, yes, we want to disrupt the top 5 PWIs out there, right? We want that. We want to go ahead and be on a competitive level. but we can't do it at the expense of somebody else putting their salary back into the actual school and not benefiting themselves. And I think that's where the problem came into play, because we all have to want that. And if we want that, then we all need to make the sacrifice. He did his part, other people didn't, and that's why we are where we are today.
And that's where I would leave it, is he did a part and they did it. Forget his salary. That's a part of what he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was reciprocated.
Nothing.
And that's where we leave it at, right? Because we can get into the tit for tat situation, but the fact of the matter is, I don't feel that you're trying, culturally, sometimes you're not on the same page.
Right.
And that's just what it boils down to. And I've had situations too where I've turned down jobs and I say, you know what, I think our priorities just don't align. And you walk away from that. But see, when you're in a position to be able to walk away from something, it gives you more power. Right? And I think Coach Prime has a little bit of this. And I think many people want to be able to say, you know what? I wish he would have did this, right? But we say that not knowing the details because we're getting this information via social media and news platforms.
It's easy to sacrifice somebody else's money. Like that, it's like I can go ahead and put your body on the line for my wants and my fantasies. Yeah, it's real good. You should have did this. You should have did that, because I have no accountability in that. So
you cannot dictate the steps of a trailblazer from behind. That's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
He is a trailblazer. That means he's in front of us, in front of you, in front of me, blazing a trail, cutting down the opposition. I can't dictate his footsteps. I can sit back, applaud, and say, listen, we now have a path. And I'm happy about it.
That's what I said. We got the blueprint. He gave it to y'all. Take it and run with it.
Yeah. And, I'm before we move on, I just want to put this out there. I'm not going to say that I'm happy with it. I understand it. I get the influence behind it. I think we need to start building stuff for ourselves too, though. So I'm kind of torn, both sides. Like I'm teetering. I haven't picked a side. I'm on the fence and I'm straddling. But I do understand that we got to build institutions for ourselves and we got to become self-sufficient, because we're always influenced by another side too. So I'm gonna just leave it there. I appreciate y'all comments.
It's a hard place to leave it at, brother.
No, it's not a hard place to leave it at, because I understand how people think and I respect the opinion. It's
he don't know how nobody think. He don't know how nobody.
No,
think.
I respect the opinion. Listen, at the end of the day,
because the reason I agree with your sentiment. It's just difficult to talk about we need to build our own stuff when we're measuring ourselves against what's currently established. So once we throw away their measuring sticks, their meters, their inches, and start using our own measuring stick,
thank you.
Then I'm down.
Thank you.
Then we're not even talking about football. We're talking about our thing.
Period.
Yeah.
We're talking period.
But
thank you.
But here's the thing. There was an opportunity to do that, and we took the money. I'm just saying there was an opportunity. And listen, where there's an opportunity, you get a choice. He made a choice, and I'm cool with that. But at the end of the day, we can't complain about the things we don't have when we don't want to build for ourselves too.
Look, talk about opportunity and also mention that opportunity had a liability attached to it, right?
Everything has a
liability. No, stop. Other people have opportunities that are just pure win, right? They could go up from here. You're not mentioning the fact that there was a liability attached to it. And I hate when you do that. You need to say the whole thing, man. Say the whole thing. I know. Yeah,
listen,
don't say the whole thing.
Listen, everything has a liability. Listen, what we're doing right now has a liability. There's no saying that we're going to get to where we want to be doing this. There's a liability. We are invested and there has been no return. So here's the thing. We can't sit up here and say that, oh, well, they have just pure gain. Listen, you got to start somewhere. And I'm not even talking about Coach Prime at this point. He is in a whole nother bracket, right?
When you talk about
he doesn't even have to coach.
That?
He doesn't even have to coach. He's good for the rest of his life. But everything you do has a liability. But you have to put the work in behind it.
You're being real generic on a specific situation. I'm not going to agree, but we'll go ahead and agree to disagree, sir. I still love you, man. I
If
still
that's how
love
you
you,
feel,
man.
if
Oh, I
that's how you
definitely feel that way. What
That's
the hell?
perfect.
If I said this, that's how I feel. There's
Hey,
no question.
shout
I
out
feel
to you,
that way.
Flo. You having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
My man.
I'm trying not to be as combative. I'm still holding back.
No, do it.
don't
Do
be
it, Flo.
combative. Listen, here's the thing. You can be combative. That's what this is all about, right? We're just having I'm not gonna feel no way about it tomorrow anyway because I gotta go to work. So it is what it
You're
is.
gonna call me up and cuss me out regardless, and it's
But-
always gonna be love, bro.
But there's
When I'm talking
opportunity.
because we're not talking about Coach Prime anymore. We're talking about life in somebody else's bowl. And yes, if I'm in your bowl and you're in your bowl, there's liabilities that I have that she don't even see. So I agree with you, big man. We should be creating our own, but we can't use their sticks and their measuring tools to build our own. That's all.
But I never said we need to use theirs, but you got to understand that there's a blueprint there that you can use. And that's what it boils down to. Listen, I talk a lot about my situation, right? And how I got this house, right? So when you start talking about things and somebody comes to you and say, hey, have you ever heard of gift of equity? No, I've never heard of that. Okay, well, let me break it down for you. And then you start getting the game. This is where you can start taking stuff, use it to your advantage, and move forward. So I'm not sitting up here saying that Coach Prime is 100% wrong for what he did. But what I'm saying is it was an opportunity because he is not in a position to where he's living check to check. He's not in a position to where, I mean, again, he doesn't have to coach this team. He could have really stayed there and tried to put whole organizations. He could have, but he's not wrong for what he did is all I'm saying. Because when I first had this video, I said, yo, I'm not stepping in front of anybody's bag. That's
I'm
what I
excited
said.
for Coach Prime. I'm more excited for his sons.
Yes. I agree.
It's not hard to see who he's blazing that trail for.
That part.
And that
part. And what does Big Man say? It all starts at home.
It all starts at home.
Ooh.
But they were set regardless. You think they need to play
Wait,
football to be
what
set?
Does that matter? What does that matter? What does it matter if you're set? That's my money. That's not your money.
They were going to quarterback at that level. You thought
that's the problem.
Was Professor? You thought Deion Sanders' son was going to be a quarterback at that level without this situation?
My thing is, I'm addressing something where he says that this man is set, and yes, he's set, but that's not a weight to go ahead and talk about what he could have done. That's my money. That's his money for him to do. That's not for you to decide that he's set. And so, he could have made the decision. It would have been effortless. Who are you to make that decision with his pocket? And that's what we've been talking about the whole time. It's the entitlement of the ideas that people can go ahead and do certain things because, I'm in a better position. Yo, my man he donated his salary. What more do you want? He did it.
Hold on. Now you're back to the school. We're talking about his sons. So are you not supposed to build legacy? Not supposed to build legacy for your family?
You said he was set, and we were talking about Deion, and that's what I was addressing. Okay, that's what I was addressing. So don't act like I wasn't on topic.
Are you supposed to build legacy for your family?
Yes.
So then what are we talking about? And he's doing that.
I'm talking about what you, I don't know why you can't follow it. It's something that is just like dead to you, right? Where you don't see that when you make these comments and you're basing your thought process based off another man's pocket. And you're saying because he's set, he should have been able to do this, right? And that's not for anybody to make that decision other than him. That's what I'm talking about. You seem to be being able to focus on that, bro.
So if he's not making the best decisions for his family, then he's out of pocket. Listen, every decision that's made is supposed to be for legacy, young man. How are you sitting up here saying that family is not set?
I never said they weren't. And that's the problem. You keep focusing on everything other than that. It's you. right? It's you that is able
If
to
you say
make
so,
the decision.
I
It's
could
you.
tell that
Wait,
we
no,
on
no, no,
two-
no. Hold up, hold up,
We're
hold
on
up,
two
hold up,
different
hold up.
wavelengths.
No,
It's
you can't have this
that will
conversation
go
with me and
ahead
talk
and
about
make this
legacy because you're not in the
based
booth.
upon his pockets. That's all I'm
Bro,
talking about. It's
you
hard for
can't
you to
have
follow,
this
but I'll
conversation
repeat
with
it
me
for
when
you.
you're not in this
You
booth.
can't make another decision off another man's pockets because it's not yours.
I got you.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
so
Flo.
not only is he doing great things for his sons, which I applaud, but he took this situation to a higher stage in front of people who don't look at us three appropriately. And he's now standing in front of cameras and men and women of different cultures, different colors, different kinds of Americans, and saying, hey, at my school, you will not disrespect ladies. At my school, you'll say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. At my school, you will not sag your pants. And if you're going to be on so I'm loving where he took his message to. I love it. I want him on that big stage to say things. So people now, when they look at Big Man, they'll say, I wonder if he's as charming and as kind and as loving as that Deion Sanders man who I just saw on television. And I want him to see that. And I don't want to be nuanced. I don't want to be like, just because he's surrounded by people of color and we all understand him, that he's saying these things. He's preaching to us. But now he's not preaching to just black kids. He's preaching to all kids. And they all have to look up. They have no choice but to respect this man's words, no choice but to respect this man's thoughts. And I love it so much. I'm glad he did it.
Amen.
I'm glad he did it too.
I'm on the inside.
No, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm glad Coach Prime did what he did. Again, I don't step in front of anybody's bag, but there was an opportunity missed. So next topic. Next topic. No, it don't skirt. Next topic.